And there's actually a conference, it's called Conference on Gender, Science and Technology. It's, there's a lot of papers out there about that, you should really read them, very interesting research they've done. And Jeffrey Oldham talked about the very important reasons and summed it up in 4 categories as why it actually does matter. The first one is different reasons of insight. So men and women, we have different perspectives. There's no way we can get around that. We do have different perspectives. And considering that most of people using anything that has anything to do with technology is going to be 50% women, no props, you know. So we need those different insights. This is very, very important. And also important in groups. That leads me to social reasons. If you look at any research, and there's been so much done about it, most groups thrive the best when there are both men and women in a team. It's very, very important. And I have to say, when I studied på DataTjej, we only had 1 guy in our class. We had 41 students, 1 guy. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. I really wish we had more guys. So it was the same thing there. And the thing is, you know how some people sometimes react to all-female conference, you know? I don't think anybody would react if they had a separate conference for male dietitians. So I always use that as an argument. Of course, if you don't meet a lot of people from your own group on a regular basis, you want to meet up once in a while and, you know, share some war stories and, you know, just it's generally good. So social reasons. And then you have human rights and social justice. This is a very interesting one. A lot of the job in computer science gives us a lot of freedom. And a lot of freedom which I don't think women should miss out on. I'll use my own job as an example. As a developer, I work from home at least 3 days a week, if I want to. And that, I say, if I had kids, that would be pretty nice. Or not. But you do have a lot of freedom. Quite flexible work hours, which is really nice. I can avoid rush hour traffic. And it's just it's a very good job to have, because it's very challenging in a very good way. For a lot of people, these kind of jobs are the perfect fit. And the more we keep removing jobs because they're not considered to fit for a gender, then we're kind of limiting our options. And more people are like me, going to sit on a plate of peas and be very unhappy. So we want to have the options out there. Then you have the scientific and economic reasons. Obviously, for a company looking out to hire people, if they also consider hiring women, they're going to have more people to choose between. And if more women actually would apply for jobs where they actually would think that, well, I can't do this because I'm a woman, they would actually have more jobs to choose between. So the economic reasons are also very important. And there's more to it when it comes to economic reasons. And then also the scientific reasons, which kind of goes, again, the same with the insight, social reasons, and human rights. And of course, there is many more reasons as why it matters. But these are the 4 core reasons which you, at some point, might have to explain to somebody. So there are actually true, valid reasons as why we should push for more women in computer science. And let's not forget, it matters for me. And those same people over there, those are my friends. And they also have similar jobs that I do, and it matters for them. And most of them are guys, and it matters for them as well. Even the guys really, really want to have more women. Not because they want to date them. That would help, honestly, that would help. But also because, when they would go to that show with the nude women, no, they want to, it helps. It creates a different type of atmosphere, and I think very few people today would say it's a bad idea. So it matters a lot for me and all my friends. And with that, I want to give you some advice I was given and advice I like to pass on, because I've gotten a lot of good advice. And this advice is actually not specific for women. First, I wanted first to do that, and then I realized I don't have any woman-specific advice. Because I think this advice goes for anybody. And except from the advice I've given throughout the session, one of the most important ones I've heard several times is you have to ask questions. This is very, very important. Whenever somebody tries to make you fit into a certain shape or form you don't fit into, question them, why are you trying to make me fit in there? If you sometimes feel like you don't belong, question, why do I feel like I don't belong? Is it because I don't belong, how I am as a person, or is it because of the way I think other people think of me, and whether or not I would feel like I belong or not? Because while 95% of the people I met in this industry are just totally awesome, you have 5% trolls. Does anyone here not know what a troll is? I'm gonna...
What kind of troll?
Yeah, not the Norwegian one. The one with crazy hair. That would always be me. A troll is a person who hangs out on Flashback. No. A troll... Well, actually they do. A troll would be a person who just want to create... they just want to argue just for the sake of the argument. And they want to have attention, and it's usually negative attention. They'll be at the back of a room yelling at stuff and just trying to criticize and question everything you say, but not in a good way to create a good discussion, but just pretty much because they want to they feed on that attention. And there are a lot of trolls, and I think women are more sensitive to trolls, and I would just say, do not feed the trolls. So whenever anybody says something, just ignore them. Just ignore them. It's very important. I don't remember who it was, but I think it was a female interaction designer. Do not remember her name, but she had this session about trolls. It's on YouTube. And she said her best way to telling people to F off was to simply just answer their question and ignore all the negatives they said. Because that would be her way of telling them to F off. And the other one was, don't forget you work with people, and people have bad days. And guys have bad days too, and they won't admit to it, but they do. You've got to have fun, and you have to remember that people have your back. At the end of the day, people are there for you, and they have your back. And things always seem a lot harder than they actually are. And whenever things feel really hard, you know, every time you have a problem, it's going to feel like the worst problem you ever had. You're never going to get out of it, and oh my God, the world's going under. When that happens, you're going to think of that cake. Even better, buy some cake. Don't eat all of it, because then you're going to start dieting the next day and so on. But think about the cake. Think about the cake, and think about how much you've achieved. And this might sound like really cliche, but it's so important. Think about the cake story, and even better, tell it to somebody else. And I think this is the best advice I can give. And that's it. I never had like a grand finale. I know I should have like, you know, so people know I'm ending. They can start packing their stuff. And no, I don't. I like, done. Yeah, if you have questions, go ahead.